how many women can you sleep with? Okay, that's basically it. 50. The more that you can sleep with, the more of a man you are. Yeah. Okay, but if that's what is your rites of passage, then you'll never compete with a donkey or a bunny rabbit. The donkey and the bunny rabbit will always overdo you or outdo you in this regard, because it doesn't take skill, it doesn't take resolve, it doesn't take power, it doesn't take strength for someone to copulate, to have intercourse, to bend a woman over and to do this and that, and put her in different positions. And I know I'm going into details here, but
brother, what's that?
Mashallah, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. My name is Raiz. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribe and ring that notification bell to keep up with my uploads. So we've seen some big name Muslim influencers get together and have some fruitful discussion, namely MOHAMMAD HIJAB, Ali DAWAH, Zishan, I don't know what's his surname, but Zishan of Smile to Jannah, and the WARNER, I know him as the WARNER, and some other characters as well, Ayman, the Muslim Lantern. And then one of the big ones, Sneeko, who we know is a new Muslim, alhamdulillah. In any case, he's gotten together with these brothers and had some, very detailed discussion about various topics. But one of the topics that I was really interested in, which they touched on, was this whole, with regards to this whole red pill space. Now, for those of you who have an idea of red pill, you'll note that it's a very controversial topic. It's something which a lot of these Muslim influencers have touched on and have discussed in length throughout these couple of years now. And Sneeko being one of these influencers who has come out of that space and into the more Muslim space, obviously. And alhamdulillah, it seems that he's grasping it on really well. I think he has molded himself well in terms of getting himself in the right environment, being with the right people. And so, other characters that we know within the red pill space is Myron Gaines. And Myron Gaines being one of the hosts of the Fresh and Fit podcast, and also a declared Muslim, although he would admit that he's not of the best Muslims, he is not well practicing. Nonetheless, he is somewhat of an advocate for Muslims, although it is construed with these ideologies like red pill and conservatism. In any case, I think the discussion that these influencers had with regards to Myron and his podcast was with concern about a female member that he invited to his podcast, and it seemed that he couldn't defend Islam and the current situation that's happening out in Palestine. It seems that he couldn't defend it quite well enough, despite his red pill stance, and red pill stance being that he is a man and that he stands up for what he believes in terms of traditionalism, having a backbone to defend one's beliefs and so on, and also do not fall part of any psyop or propaganda or these types of methods that lean one towards things that are not of the truth and so on. So in today's video, I'm going to react to these big name influencers discuss this about Myron and about this whole subject in totality, I think. And it will be interesting to see what they have to say about this. So inshallah, join me and let's see what it is that they have to say.
now I feel like a lot of the mistake that the manosphere makes, I'm not going to say Fresh and Fit because it's the whole manosphere.
The whole ideology.
Yeah, which is like, okay, now the rites of passage is how many women can you sleep with? Okay, that's basically it.
50.
The more that you can sleep with, the more of a man you are.
Yeah.
Okay, but if that's what is your rites of passage, then you'll never compete with a donkey or a bunny rabbit. The donkey and the bunny rabbit will always overdo you or outdo you in this regard, because it doesn't take skill, it doesn't take resolve, it doesn't take power, it doesn't take strength for someone to copulate, to have intercourse, to bend a woman over and to do this and that, and put her in different positions. And I know I'm going into details here, but no, I mean, it's not. It doesn't take any level of proficiency or efficiency or skill or anything like that. Really, this is what you would call a false rites of passage, which is, I think there's been some kind of a gulf there is a chasm because of modern society, lack of hardship that's been created, and they're filling it up with hedonism. What I'm saying is that objectively, it doesn't make you, because what is it to be a man? That's the most question. I have to start with it. Mm-hmm. What is it to be a man? For me, the defining attribute of a man, frankly, is bravery. That is, for me, the defining attribute of what it means to be a real man is bravery. Because you need that in abundance to do certain things. For example, provide to protect. Now, you're not going to prove your bravery, which is the, if you like, the main virtue that you require to be a man. Because frankly, what would you?
I think with regards to bravery also, when life is given to you in a certain way, and especially when it comes to the standard social norms that are in effect, with majority of people, I think for one to step out of that line, for a better cause, obviously, I think is also a step in the right direction concerning bravery. It is brave for you to, consider an alternative. I think Islam in itself has an alternative, outlook, and for one to adapt to that, I think is brave. You know,
You say to someone if they were not brave, you'd say they're a coward. If they're not coward, you say you're not a man. Someone gets slapped in the face and then couldn't fight back.
exactly what I was saying. If it is that you know the truth and you know that there is this alternative, and you remain to be, to have this cloth over your head about the whole situation, I think that's cowardice.
Back, or someone slaps your wife in the face and you can't fight her, you can't defend her, you're not a man anymore. That's what we would say vernacularly. And in virtue ethics, all the way from Aristotle up until our times, it was always known that bravery was the cardinal and redeeming virtue of a man that differentiated him from women. Not to say that women don't have that virtue. Now, going back to the rites of passage issue. The rites of passage issue now, having sex with women, how does that prove that you're a brave man?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't prove that you're a brave man, that you're a resilient man, that you're a skillful man, or anything like that. So for me, this idea of increasing the body count and stuff like that, I find it to.
So look, yes, this is completely correct. Like, within the modern framework, we have this idea that for a man to sleep with so many women and to get so many women into his bed is this type of win. But it's, I wouldn't say it's not that. I wouldn't say that it's easy to do that, but it depends on what type of women you are going to look for, and to get these women to get into your bed is not that difficult either. In any case, I don't want to get into the details of that, but to think about it clearly, you would have to be strong to resist these temptations. You have to be strong to lower your gaze in that way. You'll see these luring type of imagery, right? Both digitally, let's say, and live, and yet you refrain, you turn your head and you bow your head down to the floor and suggest to yourself, and for a Muslim, submit to Allah, saying, look, Allah has destined better for me, and I resist, and I submit to Allah that this is not for me, right? Because Allah has stated that this shouldn't be tolerated, or this shouldn't be, you shouldn't indulge in this.
To be a lousy, it's a lazy idea. It's a weak idea.
So it does prove bravery. It's at the lowest possible level.
Not even. I mean, what is it? Showing your, sorry to say, your instrument to another woman. It's like what a bunny rabbit can do, or a donkey, and having intercourse with a woman. It doesn't show anything. It doesn't show anything at all. Frankly, it doesn't show anything.
It's so deep that you're saying this, because my dad, he would tap me on the shoulder and say in French, courage.
Yeah.
Courage. He'd say,
yeah,
you're a man.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to face. He knew already, he foresaw this.
Yeah.
Stuff that I'm going through now, i.e. providing for a family, i.e. making decisions for the family, facing reality and being, I do not know where my money's going to come from. I don't know where this is going to come from.
Yeah.
But I have to be courageous.
That is the main thing, bro. And there's two kinds of courage. So there is, you can call it the physical courage, and you call it the moral courage.
Moral courage, yeah.
So the physical courage is getting engaged in physical confrontation. So, for example, I'll reference something you've done, and I mentioned this already to you, but the thing with Strickland, I think that was a show of courage, actually.
Yes.
Because the guy was actually, people don't realize this, the guy is one of the most dangerous human beings on the planet.
Right.
To even step in the ring with.
I think for us as modern Muslims and as modern Muslim men, I think we underplay the idea of physical confrontation. A lot of us have been subject to the idea that you have to be this pacifistic, peaceful type person in order to go about in the world. And this is certainly not the case, and this is definitely not the ideology of I think the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba, and the early Muslims. They were very much engaged with conquest and standing up for what is right, even physically, right? So I think that is also part of what a man should be able to do, and I mean, I don't think it's always about having brawn or having the biggest muscles and being the fittest, but at least to have that type of bravery, like to stand in front of someone who's going to, uh, you know, offend you in a way where perhaps he intends to harm your family, your wife, your parents, and so on, and you are that barrier between the offender and who and what you are protecting.
him. That requires courage. And to know that he's going to potentially hurt you, bro, badly. And he tried to hurt him. He tried to kill him, bro. And he couldn't. Allah protected him, alhamdulillah. But that is a kind of courage. I think if you look at the comments of that particular altercation, people are saying, my respect for Sneeko has gone up so much and this and that. Why? Because men realize, okay, that wasn't easy for him. Okay, but he still didn't, Aristotle's times, from the Babylonian times, the Africans, the Asians, the Chinese, everyone would say, speak the truth. Malcolm X, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Fall for anything. It's well known in all societies that this is what it takes to be a man. So forget about the body count. Sorry to say, this is kid stuff.
It sounds
how many women?
now.
Yeah, how many women you can get and bag and put in the bed and bend her over and give her some money? She don't even love you. She don't even care. And she's just doing it for fame or money or whatever. I mean, it's a prostitute. Most of these people in Fresh and Prince, sorry to say, they're escorts. They are escorts. They are prostitutes.
And I guess the ultimate test right now to judge
and
bravery.
if we wanted to, we could go to the escort for services and we could call four escorts and they can come and sit here and we can pretend to have the upper hand on them. It wouldn't really mean anything because they're not formidable opponents. They're worthless opponents. They're worthless opponents. So it's actually demeaning to be in a place and okay, you're attacking some woman that's basically a prostitute about her job. You need to help this woman. You need to take her out of it instead of bringing some prostitutes and go head to head with some men.
That's a good idea. We should do that's like no, but women that are lost.
No, you can do dawah to prostitute.
Dawah to call them and fix their ways.
That'd be a great stream.
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
Dawah to prostitute.
But you get we'll get some women to do that.
Imagine on the halal fashion food.
Yeah,
Work with the brand.
we have to look at that. But what I'm saying is that we need to now recalibrate what it means to be a man.
Yes.
And it's fine, bro. Society has changed our perspectives on these things. And what it means to be a real man is to be brave. And what it means to be brave is to be physically brave and to be morally brave. These are the two things.
I have to give you credit for the debates you did on Palestine because I think that's the ultimate test right now of moral bravery. People who are willing to stand up for what's very clearly genocide and not war. And most people choose to stay silent, especially people in my world of streaming and the influence of people. They know what's going on off camera. They will speak about like the atrocities, but because they want the brand deals and they want to be able to work with managers, they will stay silent about something that's, in my opinion, worse than the Holocaust, but especially what we learned in school. And then Zishan, I want to ask you, that was a very detailed answer.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw Myron under the bus because I think he's a nice guy.
He speaks about all this stuff.
Yeah, we want to bring him into our fold.
Yeah.
We really want him to be part of our team. We want him.
He has Islam in his heart.
He's a clever guy. You saw something of his. He's written a book or something, hasn't he?
Why Women Deserve Less.
So he's got an intelligent mind, No, honestly,
it's a great title.
You can see. No. Why Women Deserve Less? He's got an intelligent mind. No, but I'm saying we don't want to throw this guy under the bus. But no, you can see. I've seen him speak a few times. He's a very intelligent young man.
Yeah.
We just want to tweak him a little bit because I think he's in the wrong environment, and we want him to be part of our, our family. We want him to be closer to us. That's what we want with
Bring him back on Dean.
That's it. That's what we want, bro.
Zishan, what is your definition of being a real man?
I think the definition of a real man.
Don't talk about me on this.
In this day and age, it's what you're saying, where you've got like a genocide taking place and people can't voice out, people can't speak out. On the other hand, you've got people on road, they're involved in gangs and they think they have access, that specific area belongs to them. They think that's bravery. You've got people that think, oh, I'm making this money, that's bravery. I think nowadays, the ultimate kind of test of bravery, and some people, we see these people at Speaker's Corner as well, and we discuss with them and we say, look, bro, like you're pretty much a Muslim. Like, what's stopping you?
Yeah, I met one today.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't think I can do it. It's this. For me, that's the sign of bravery. That in an age where believing in God is seemed or is made to seem foolish, that in a day and age where alcohol, fahish, like drugs, promiscuity is it's common. It's something that children as young as 6 and 7 are exposed to hardcore pornography, but you instill a conservative lifestyle, conservative in terms of principles of Islam. That's what I mean by conservative. And despite what people are saying, oh, you're backwards, oh, you're doing this, and you stay, like the prophecies that we've discussed,
Video is not playing that well.
Come telling of a man. A man is able to look 10 years ahead and plans for his family, whilst women, not all of them, they tend not to look that far ahead. Their vision is a bit less, and that's why their union is very important, because it complements each other very well.
Right. So with regards to the whole Myron issue or REDPILL type thing that they were discussing there, look, we understand the Red Pill to be what it is. This whole manosphere thing that Muhammad Hijab is clearly, outlined as, a deficient idea. Concerning Myron, I think that, I feel that he doesn't have the enough backing, enough knowledge about Islam in of itself to defend Islam. And then within the wider context also where Islam fits in the modern world and how Islam actually trumps all these ideologies, and including what perhaps his counterparts would say about Islam, his adversaries that would say Islam is this or Islam is that, I don't think he gets into that particularly. And perhaps we can say, look, fair enough, this is not really his space. Nonetheless, as a Muslim and as a public figure that does, advocate the whole conservative thing, traditionalist thing, manosphere, I think Islam does fall in there somewhat, not directly, but he should have some sort of backing that would assist him in this way. But I don't think it has to do with any brand deals or anything like that. I know the Fresh and Fit podcast, and I know perhaps Myron. I'm not too sure on the finer details, of course, but I don't think they are quite popular with the, respective brands, like mainstream brands. They talk very much on controversial things and things that are going against what mainstream brands and products have to say on things. So there's that. Yeah, again, in essence, I think Myron is perhaps ill-equipped when it comes to defending Islam, and unfortunately, this is the case. But I feel like for instance, these Dawah brothers have hope, and we should all have hope for Myron to really jump on board with the with the Muslim community, with figures like these Muslim brothers who defends Islam through and through. All right, the complete sphere of Islam, they defend it outright, which many of us admire. And then lastly, just to touch up on this again, what it is to be a real man. And I think Zishan at the end, they summed it up very nicely. To hang on to the rope of Allah, despite anything and everything, whether it's rain or shine, or there's a ton of bricks on your back and you are suffering tremendously, yet you still hold on to that rope. And as a man, I feel that, it actually builds one's character. It's almost like it flowers a man, to go through these hardships, to go through the tough times, and then come out successfully. And it doesn't mean materially. It does. It means to build character and to ultimately be the best human being that you can be, in respect to what the Prophet ﷺ was, and who he is, and what the Quran, outlines. And of course, ultimately, relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ensuring that you abide to Him and submit to Him wholesomely, inshallah.